My name is Double Gift. The headlines: ASU strike, NANS laid siege on MMA, says protest won't be limited to Lagos. 2023 court declines to disqualify Tinubu, Peter Obi. Evans, accomplice jailed 21 years for kidnapping, collecting $420,000 ransom. Queen Elizabeth II is laid to rest. Funeral held in her honor at Westminster Abbey. Please stay with us for details of these stories. Now the news. The National Association of Nigerian Students, NANS, has said the siege laid on the Murtala Mohammed International Airport in Lagos on Monday will be replicated in other parts of the country soon. The Southwest coordinator of the body, Comrade Stephen Tebe, speaking with the press, said after blocking major highways in some parts of the country last week, the next step will be to shut down the nation's airspace. The students under the aegis of NANS blocked Murtala Mohammed International Airport Road, Lagos, to protest. Movement was totally restricted, causing gridlock along the Ikeja and other routes, leading to both the local and international airports. The students later moved to the domestic airports, causing a standstill situation along the airport road and Mobolaji Bank Anthony Road, leading to the local airports. Both the Domestic Terminal 1, also known as the General Aviation Terminal GAT, and the Terminal 2 operated by Courtney Aviation Service Limited, BASL, of the airport, and the MMA were shut down by the students, preventing passengers from accessing the airport. At the GAT, the protesting students were joined briefly by a former Students' Union government president of the University of Lagos and presidential candidate of the African Action Congress, AAC, Omoyele Sowore. He joined in solidarity with the students and decried the inability of the federal government and ASU to resolve the lingering strike. The Federal High Court sitting in Abuja on Monday declined to disqualify the candidate of All Progressives Congress, Senator Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and that of Labour Party, Mr. Peter Obi, from participating in the 2023 presidential election. The court, in a judgment that was delivered by Justice Donatus Okorowo, it held that a suit the People's Democratic Party, PDP, lodged against the two presidential candidates lacked merit and deserved to be dismissed. The PDP had approached the court accusing both Peter Obi and Tinubu of acting in breach of the Electoral Act. It told the court that contrary to provisions of the electoral law, both Obi and Tinubu failed to nominate their running mates in due time, choosing rather to temporarily hand over their vice presidential tickets to placeholders. PDP told the court that whereas the candidate of the Labour Party, Obi, chose Dr. Doyin Okupe as the placeholder for his vice presidential post, the other hand, candidate of the APC, Tinubu, submitted the name of Alhaji Kabiru Masari as his own placeholder. Plaintiff in the suit marked FHC/ABJ/CS/1016/2022 contended that the Electoral Act 2022 did not make provision for a placeholder or temporary running mate. It further argued that the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, was bereft of the power to accept any withdrawal or substitution of both Okupe and Masari, without the Labour Party and the APC conducting fresh primaries to substitute Obi and Tinubu. PDP told the court that both Okupe and Masari are not products of any primary election and as such was not validly nominated by the Labour Party and the APC. Meanwhile, in his judgment on Monday, Justice Okorowo held that the suit was not only incompetent but amounted to gross abuse of the judicial process. the court held that it lacked the jurisdiction to entertain an incompetent suit and accordingly dismissed it. An Ikeja Special Offences Court on Monday sentenced the convicted kidnap kingpin Chukwudimeme Onwuamadike alias Evans and his accomplice Victor Aduba to 21 years imprisonment to life imprisonment for kidnapping a businessman, Slyvanus Ahamonou, and collecting $420,000 as ransom from his family. Justice Hakeem Oshodi handed out the sentence to the trio on Friday after convicting them on 2 counts of conspiracy and kidnapping of a businessman, Donatus Duru. The victim is the managing director of Maydon Pharmaceuticals Limited. In convicting the trio, Justice Oshodi held that the prosecution had successfully proved the charge against them beyond a reasonable doubt. In reaching his verdict on Evans, the judge held that he observed the demeanor of the witness, stating that in some of the confessional videos played in court, Evans had mentioned some of the other defendants and the roles they played in the crime. The Lagos State government had arraigned Evans alongside Uche Amadi, Okuchukwu Nwachukwu, Ogechi Uchechukwu, Chilaka Ifeanyi and Victor Aduba for allegedly kidnapping the managing director of Maydon Pharmaceuticals Limited, Donatus Duru, on February 14, 2017. The state had claimed that the convicts committed the alleged offence between February 14 and April 12, 2017. The prosecution had further told the court that the incident took place at about 7:45 p.m. along Obokun Street in the Ilupeju area of Lagos. The United Kingdom and a huge part of the world are mourning the death of the longest-serving monarch, Queen Elizabeth II, who reigned for 7 decades. Today she is being laid to rest. A funeral in her honor is taking place at Westminster Abbey. Later, she will be laid to rest beneath St. George's Chapel with her husband of 73 years, late Prince Philip, her sister Margaret, and also her parents. Since September 8th, when she died, many lined up the streets of London to mourn with the royal family, pay their last respects, line up flowers, and sympathize with the royals. Today, a much bigger crowd is expected. This funeral is expected to host the largest gathering of the world leaders in a long time. Leaders of a few countries have been reportedly barred from attending Her Majesty's funeral. Countries like Russia, Belarus, Syria, Venezuela, and Afghanistan, Iran as well, but they will be represented on an ambassadorial level. Thousands of police officers from across the country have been redeployed to London to help manage the huge crowds expected. Visiting dignitaries have been arriving at Westminster Abbey in escorted couches from sites in West London where they have parked. The reason for this is tight security as well as road restrictions. That's the news. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. We are Aspheric TV on YouTube, and also follow us on all of our social media platforms. On Instagram and Twitter, we are Aspheric News, and on Facebook, we are Official Aspheric News. Thanks for watching. Bye.